السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين. والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
We're reading from the Reasonings, page 11, the second way. When we enter the division of time known as the past, we should consider the following 4 points. The first is that those who specialize in a branch of science and base their thesis on it will demonstrate eminence in that branch. The second is this: O brothers and sisters, if you have some knowledge of human nature, you will accept that even a person who has little renown cannot lie to a group of people about an insignificant matter without giving themselves away through anxiety or unease. And yet there is a person who is unlettered but has great renown and honor, who, while undertaking a tremendous task and needing protection against his enemies, easily speaks about great causes before large congregations, and the whole of his history, and who, in the face of great obstinacy, acts without any anxiety or hesitation. Furthermore, no contradictions can be found in what such a person proclaims with such pure sincerity and great gravity. In addition, he does so in such an intense, elevated manner that it vexes his opponents. Will not all these show his truthfulness in the brightest sun? The third point is that there are many kinds of knowledge which are only of theoretical meaning and value for Bedouins, while being commonly known in the civilized world. Therefore, in order to study and know the states of the Bedouins, you need to go to the desert in your mind. If you like, you can consult in this matter the second premise located in the first part of this book.
No, should stop somewhere here. The first, of course, we are studying the past because we keep reminding ourselves that we are studying a historical person. So we have to go to the history. That is the principle. That's why we have to go to the past. Whereas when we study the message is alive in front of us. We don't have to go to the past. So Quran should not be read within the context of the past. But the person who claimed to be the messenger of God was an historical person, and we have to see his conditions within a historical context. The people usually, what is common, usually they confuse, usually, not everyone, excuse me, they confuse the matter. How they take the time of the revelation of the Quran as happened to be in the past, time of the revelation of the speech of God. as happened to be in the past. So the messenger who brought this Quran also live it in the past. What they do, they look at the life of the prophet in the conditions of his own time. That is correct. His life must be taken into account within the conditions of his time in which he lived. That is inevitable. But when it comes to the speech, the revelation of the speech of God, although it was revealed to a historical person within an historical context, but the revelation claims to be an absolute speech of God. We cannot read the Quran within its historical context. But we have to look at the life of the prophet within his historical context. We have to make the distinction. If we don't make the distinction, what we do, we reduce the Quran as educating the people in the time of its revelation within history. That's very dangerous. But we have to watch out for this. One point must be also borne in mind that although the Muhammad, the person, has lived in an historical context, but his exemplary life is not limited to his historical context. Although he dealt with the people around him and according to the conditions of his life terms, life area or whatever, his life and the people around him, but the principles in his behavior he established must be taken not only concerning to the particular time frame, but generalize it, and we have to make up the principles that he applied in his life and interpret it and adapt it to our life conditions. There is a difference between reading the Quran, the speech of God, and getting a universal message out of it, and seeing his seerah narrations, biography of the Prophet narrations, and hadith narrations of his sayings and acts. We have to make the distinction. It is not exactly the same as the Quran is. Quran is a universal speech to everyone at every time. That's established. Because through the Quran, who is speaking? My Creator is speaking. I have to read it as my Creator is speaking to me right now, according to my life conditions. I shouldn't take it into its historical context. Whereas in the exemplary life of the Prophet, we have to be careful. He is not an eternal being, but employed by an eternal being. His guidance is from the eternal being, but as a man, he is acting within his life conditions according to the situation of the time and space where he lived. But it is not exactly like the Quran. What we have to do, we have to interpret it and get the general principles out of his particular exemplary life. Universal principles out of his particular exemplary life. Right? It needs interpretation. But first, we have to take notice of his life conditions. For example, he spoke to a particular person. And we have to see a person in this condition must be treated in this way. And now bring it to our life conditions. How can I treat the person I am dealing with now, or myself, or a person I am interacting with? Take an example from it. But from the Quran speech, we don't have to do that. Take an example from it. Do you see the difference? Do I make sense too? We don't have to. For example, when the Quran speaks of an historical matter, something happened to a certain people, usually people, and to a certain person, for example, Noah and his son, Abraham his father. These are particular people, and certain people, we don't know who he is, but doesn't matter. Pharaoh or any Nimrod, anybody like that, we don't have to go back and see the conditions there, how Abraham treated his father, and get a general principles, universal principles out of it. No, directly see it as Abraham is me and Abraham's father is me. Directly. But whereas in the practical life of the prophet, how he dealt with his uncle, let's say father was dead, example. And I have to take a lesson from it and try to extract a universal principle from it. But when we read the Quran, we shouldn't take it an example from it that directly related to our life. Directly related to our life. That is the main principle. We refer to it on several occasions, but it is important now because we are studying a person and we have to go back to the past and we have to listen to the experts on the history who study the past and see what happened in his lifetime and how this person, not the message only, how this person's relationship with the message and the conveyance of the message to the people and the effect of it. What we are trying to understand now, not the content of the message in this section. What are we trying to understand here in this section? Not the content of the message, but who will tell me?
What he received is actually from the owner of the universe, like his claim.
No, this is the content of the message. What are we going to study now? What are we going to concentrate on?
Exemplary life of Prophet Muhammad, how to extract.
How he was successful. Whether as an ordinary human being acting on his own power, own capacity, can achieve what he did. Do you understand the difference? How a person within his capacity, within his power, can be successful by himself without being employed by the creator of the universe and giving success to him. It means without the help of the creator. We are going to study this now. We have been studying this. Without the help of the creator, can he as a person succeed what he has done by himself? Using his own capacity, his own power. That's what we are going to study now. Make a comparison as a human being, whether this person was acting with his own capacity, with his own power, or whether this person was acting with the help of his employer. Do you see the difference? His employer. Who is his employer? The creator of the universe employed him to convey the message and implement the message. The argument is that now our argument is what? Whether Muhammad, a person who's called Muhammad historically, was acting on his own or under the guidance and help of the creator of the universe. The problem is this now, which means whether he was a messenger employed by the creator of the universe, God, or he was a very clever, successful person. The problem is, our problem is at the moment this.
Last week we established that if the message he's bringing is making sense to us, then we're confirming the message, right? So that it's coming from the owner of the universe. So now we're trying to find out if what this man claims to be is not his own production. That's
yes,
what we're checking in.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. It is not his own production.
Mm-hmm.
He is employed under the supervision of
the creator of the
his
universe.
Employer, the creator of the
However, I don't feel it's necessary to even go to this step, because if one is convinced that the message this person is presenting really makes sense to me and resonates with my being, so...
No, that's one thing. That's one thing. One thing. That is one of the essential item in understanding that Muhammad was a messenger. But particularly we are concentrating on another aspect of it, an extra to it.
After establishing that?
Yes.
But that doesn't make
this
sense.
Message,
I wouldn't need to establish that, because no,
okay.
I know that the universe has an owner, and I'm learning about the ins and outs of the workings of this universe in my own being. And this person, whatever he's delivering, makes sense to me, and period, done. Thank you.
Okay. One thing. For example, this is a problem. This is a problem. Some people say Quran is enough for us. Yeah? I don't need the exemplary life of the Prophet Muhammad. But let's not use the word prophet now. I don't need to take the life of Muhammad as an exemplary pattern or model for me.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's focused that these people, there are many people, there are many in the Muslim community. I don't need the prophet.
And we're referring to the narrations, right? When we say the taking...
Sorry?
Are we referring to the narrations, taking the model?
Yeah, narration, sirah.
You'll still take it then, because, if somebody's making sense, like your teacher, and then, there's a textbook, and then, hey, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, there's a manual, lab manual, work it out. Okay, thank you. We'll take it.
No, it's not that simple. I don't think it is that simple. How can you benefit from the prophet now? if someone says, I am satisfied with the content of the Quran, that it is from the creator of the universe, I'm getting guidance from it, that's enough. Where is the function of the messenger, believing in the messenger, apart from believing in the book of the creator, apart from this? You say, okay, I believe that the Quran is from God. And we cannot reduce the belief in messengership, Risale, to only a person who brought the message and has no function, apart from bringing the message. That is called what? The example, very famous example, a postman brings the letter and delivers it to you, or the package, delivers it to you and say bye-bye. Do you pay attention to the quality of the postman? Do you take lesson from him? Yeah. Do you pay attention to him at all? No. I never pay attention who the postman is, or there's the postman here. So who the postwoman is, it is not concern. It is not my concern. That is a big gap in our life, because we are trying to establish that it is not a postman who brought the message to me. It is the instructor. He or she, in the example of postman, he or she is the instructor of the content of the message. So it becomes an important element in my life. That's why belief in the message, which is belief in the books, they say in general, is one item. The second item, belief in the messengership of Muhammad.
So studying
this is another item.
Studying that item, the messengership of Muhammad.
That is what we are doing here now.
Studying the postman, right?
Yeah. No, but not the postman now. It's an instructor. Yeah. Coming with a textbook, taking us to the lab, and the instructor says, I am going to teach you how to put this content of this textbook into practice. Most of the people, including myself, ignore the function of this instructor in our life. Why? I keep saying that there are many things that are really important that the general public is missing. One is, as far as understanding the universe and its nature, belief in angels are missing. Belief in angel is missing in the perception of the believers. There is no such concept. God created the universe, done. But what are the angels? Why the belief in angels is important, and what am I going to do with it? That's one thing that missing in the community, even among the scholarship. Not many people study belief in angels and how can I apply it to my life. The existence of angels, what does it mean for me? What are they? I believe that there are angels because the Quran says so. Okay. What is the effect of belief in angels in my life? No. Have you ever seen any study, any scholar who is teaching this? No. That is one point missing in the life and understanding of the people, the Muslim people, those who devote themselves to the Quran and say that we believe in the Quran and the message of God and we are the followers of Muhammad, it's the problem. Yeah, they accept the existence of belief because it is in the message. The effect of belief in angels in one's life is completely dysfunctioned. It has no effect. Now, we believe that the Muslims say we believe in the existence of angel with no effect in our life because it is not studied, it's not concentrated. People are not concentrating on it. What does it mean? They don't question. They don't know. They are not aware of it. Even most of the scholars are not aware of it. What belief in angel should bring into my life? Have you ever thought about it? No, there is not in the atmosphere. Now, the second thing is we believe in Muhammad as the messenger of God, right? What is the effect of it? The same thing. The same thing. A little bit, it is not like that disaster in the matter belief in angels, but it is a little bit in fiqh matters. This is sunnah, this is sunnah. They keep saying this. So we imitate the sunnah narrated in fiqh matters. We think that we are following or benefiting from the belief in the messenger by following certain rules in our life. Not as an exemplary person for me, it is not studied that much. But in Sirah books, his life is studied not as an exemplary instructor for me, but how great the person was, or how difficulties he went through in his life. But in Sirah, in this biography of the Prophet books, concentrating or studying the biography of the Prophet, narrating his life in instances or whatever happened to him during his life. In Hadith books, certain actions are narrated, and fiqh takes its rules from these Hadith narrations. But how about belief? It became hot very quickly. How about belief in angels, the effect of belief in angels in my life? No. How about the presence of message, or let me make this parallel now. How about the presence of angels in my life? The effect of the presence of angels in my life? None. Almost none. We have to, I admit that it's not. Personally, I try to bring this aspect of creation into my life, which this aspect is angel. How can I live with angels? Is it really true? How can I make sense of it? So my problems, very, very serious concern for my life. What did I do with it? I don't know, but it is very serious concern for me. Now let's come to this point now. Living with angels, okay? Don't forget this. Living with angels. Living with angels. The angels are present. Aren't they?
Weren't we talking about messengership?
I'm making parallel. It is difficult to understand. Concentrate on it. What I'm saying. Living with angels. Do you understand? Have you ever tried that? Have you lived with angels? Yes or no? Admit, confess. No. Somehow?
It's hard.
Sorry?
It's hard.
It's hard. Yes, hard. Okay. Nodding. Yes, it is hard for me too. Yeah? Although theoretically I am aware of it. I'm working on it. Very hard. I found very hard. Forget it. Now, the parallel. Do we live with messenger? Because if the Quran is alive, the message is alive. If the messenger is not only a postman, what it means, I am in the lab, Quran is alive in front of me in the lab textbook. Where is the instructor? Where is the instructor? Present in my life. Have you tried that? Do you see the gap there? Where is the instructor?
Repeat that again, please.
Where is the instructor? I am in the lab of the universe, life lab, laboratory. And the Quran is in my hand. What I do, there is no instructor. Instructor must be present as the Quran is, the speech of God is universally with me, present. Where is it? Look at your life. Have you ever lived with the Prophet together?
Don't even know who the prophet is.
Sorry?
We don't even know.
But when the Prophet says in the narration, when you remember me, it means not verbally mention the name, it is ridiculous, but people emphasize on it. When you remember the Prophet, it means I am present with you. That's what he says. But people understand that when you make a salawat on me, and I hear it. But in fact, what it means, making salawat means what? Not because of Muhammad and you don't know who he is and just say the name and say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It means nothing really. It's just imitative language. It means when you remember that, I am in a lab and the book is with me, but I cannot put it into practice without the guidance of the instructor. Where is the instructor in my life? When you bring that aspect into your life, the Prophet says, I am present with you. That is the missing point in our life. We have many dimensions of existence that are missing in our life. But what we do, we reduce this because it is not easy at all. We don't study on it. When we study the messengership, what we study it either as a biography of his life, not a living instructor for me, but biography of his life, or some narrations from it which bring some sort of responsibility for me to make it, to put it into practice as it is narrated. For example, Prophet used to pray 2 rak'ah before he goes to the masjid to pray the fard, morning prayer. I do it. But I do it as well, but it doesn't really bring the instructor into my practical life. It is a narration. So fiqh is supposed to, but it became fiqh, by doing his action in your life, must be a means of bringing the instructor into your practical life. It's a reminder. It's supposed to be a reminder. The messengership is with me. Although the person Muhammad died as Abdullah, yes, but as Rasulullah, he is with me. That is why it must be with me. Not he is with me. He must be with me. He is not. No. The Prophet instructed the people, while you are praying, you have to say, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You understand this action? Assalamu alaykum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Ayyuhan nabi. Those people who don't understand this at all, and also because they don't understand, they deny. You cannot bring a dead man into your life. Yes? As an Abdullah, no, he's dead. As Rasulullah, as an instructor, he must be alive. That is the missing point. When they don't pay attention to this point that they are missing, what they do, they deny. They deny, and what they say, you cannot say Assalamu alayka, the peace be upon you personally, you, with the present. It means you, yourself. But what is it? He's dead, man. How can you say that? They don't recite this. Because they don't see the presence of the messenger of God. Not Muhammadun Abduhu, but Muhammadun Rasuluhu. Got it? There is no Rasul present in our life. The analogy, you see, belief in the angels does not, saying that I believe in the existence of angels. Why? For any reason. Okay. Does not necessitate to live with angels. Now draw the parallel. Belief in the messengership of Muhammad does not necessitate to live in the presence of Muhammad as a messenger, instructor. That is another dimension of existence. Now, for example, this existence, they say only how many dimensions, how many dimensions are there? This, three, and with the time dimension, 4. But the universe doesn't have 4 dimensions.
I have a question.
Before you have a question.
Yes. So in order for me to understand and acknowledge the individual who is bringing me the textbook as not just a delivery man, but as also the instructor of the textbook, I would also need to verify that the person is an expert on the textbook or is capable of teaching the textbook to me and is not just a reader of it as me. So in that process, I need to have some sort of way of being able to accept the person as an instructor or see them as befitting that role.
Mm-hmm. Instructing what? That's a very good introduction. This person instructing what? This person, it's a very simple question. Very simple question.
How I can benefit
How I can put the message
into my life.
into my practical life. Right?
Right.
So it must be present in your effort to put the message into your practical life. Do you see the logic? Now, is it present? No, there is no such dimension in our life, in our understanding. For example, I don't really know physics at all. What they say, they can study universe with, it was an old information, it must have developed now, 11 dimensions physically, although we know 4 dimensions practically. But they say 11 dimensions of existence in the universe. It means our world is so narrow, so, what is that? Dull. Our world, so dull, so really meaningless, not corresponding to huge, immense capacity of human spirit. So what we see here, my famous example is the pencil. Here, I have a pencil. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me a pencil. Well, I'm pleased with it. That's what we are living in this world. That's so simple. What the Spirit wants to be, to have the experience of an absolute, unlimited pleasure living in the presence of God. And the universe is just an exhibition hall. And in the exhibition hall, the creatures are introducing themselves to me as saying, every one of them is saying, I am an definite evidence that your owner has employed me here. That's angel, believing angel, employed me here to interact with you, to convey the message to you. So see in my presence, every being says, see in my presence the source of existence, your existence and my existence, treating you. For example, I am using the computer. It's an example. Right. In fact, while I am using the computer, what am I doing? I am interacting with the engineer or the programmer of the computer. This is an example of the programmer is not here, it's a created being. Not present, but the instructor, the programmer, is present within the program. That's example, but examples must be understood within a limited conditions. Now, although the programmer has programmed the computer, that's an example, and went away, finished. But how about the Rabb, programmer of the universe? Has he gone? Created the universe, now he's gone or dead or something? Made the universe and dead? No, I have to be in the presence. How can I be in his presence while I am using the universe as the example of the computer? as I communicate through the program, in the program I see what? The action of the programmer. The action of the programmer, do you see? So I am directly interacting with the programmer while I am using the computer. If the programmer is an absolute being. It's a limited example again. While I am reading the book, a text, what am I doing? I am actively interacting with the mind of the author. This is a creative example. Author has died long ago. So, but still his knowledge is present here. I'm interacting with it, not personally, because he's a creative being, he died. How about the creator of the universe? I must have a living, alive interaction with the creator of the universe by using the computer example, through using the programs, through interacting with the meaning that I'm extracting. So the meaning is angels. It's angel. Through these angels, I am in the presence of God. That is one example. So that is another dimension in my life. For example, let's put the fourth dimension into our material life, very, very materialistic life. Author wrote this 1 century ago, almost, and gone. I have the book here, and the book has 400, 500 pages, and how many words there are in one page. I am interacting with this and learning something from the text, not from the author. Author is not present. That is how our life is. Do I deny that this book has been written by an author? No. Everybody says, no, it must be written by an author. Yeah. Do I deny that? Take the analogy now into our practical life. Do I deny that the universe is created by a creator? No. Right? No, I don't deny. But it doesn't mean that I am living with him. There's no dimension. This dimension. That is called living in the presence of God. No, but how can it be possible to live in the presence of God? You cannot really say that, look, God is here, I am in his presence. No. The action conveys the message to me, and while I am interacting with the action, it means while I am reading or using the computer program and also understanding the meaning in the text, I have another dimension of existence in my life that I am interacting with the author of the universe, Rabbul Alamin. It must be another dimension. Always live in the presence of God. That needs training. It is only possible through realizing that these meanings are actively reflecting the presence of the creator to me and letting me know this is me, this is my creator, this is my creator, and he's sending this message to you. He's present here. Now that needs training, concentration, and especially before training, we have to be aware that we are missing some dimensions of existence in our life. First, we are living in a very materialistic life, although we say we believe in God. And another thing is we believe in angels, but still we live in four-dimensional existence. But the spirit is infinite. Spirit must be satisfied. That's why our spirit is imprisoned. That's why our spirit doesn't feel whatever happens is happening because of my Creator right now treating me. My Creator's action. How can I be unhappy with it? This consciousness needs training. That brings one dimension. Now, this is one example of dimension in our life, missing dimension in our life. Now, let's come to our subject now. In almost equally the same effect that we have no dimension of the presence of the messenger in our life. There's no this dimension in our life. There's no messenger in our life. Why we have not trained ourselves? Claiming that I believe in the messengership of Muhammad is just really not denying it because you don't have any evidence to deny it. Everybody says the Quran is brought by him. It is just a tawatur, it is called in Arabic. But a common narration. As much particular example, do you deny the existence of Berlin? There's such a city in the world? No. Have you been to Berlin? No, you have been. Have you been to Berlin? No. Do you deny it? No. Like this. Everybody says, okay, I believe that everybody says Muhammad was the messenger of God who brought the Quran. Okay. Like you believe that Berlin exists, but you don't live in Berlin. You don't have any experience of it. You have some experience. So do I. So I have some sort of a general idea about Berlin. So, example, when you live in Berlin is different from not denying the existence of Berlin. Now, when you believe in Muhammad being the messenger, is not living with him. Why? The messengership side of the mission of the Prophet must be alive. Now, we have to make sure that apart from the evidence that we get from the Quran as being the word of God, we have to have another dimension, which is this word of God is represented by a person as a messenger, Rasul, not as a postman. And he must be alive with the message with me as a messenger, not as a person, as a messenger. So I have to live in this world with another dimension in my life, apart from the four dimensions, with height and length, width, height, and time. That's what we are imprisoned within these four dimensions of existence. So there is no presence of eternity. There is no presence of the Creator in our life. This dimension doesn't exist, although we believe in God. Now, this is possible only through belief in angels, that we have to work on it. Another dimension, God's speech is eternal. This God is speaking to me right now, and represented by an instructor, which is missing. Represented by an instructor is missing. What is the solution? We will come there to start with. The solution, the beginning of solution, what we are studying here. And another dimension must be present in our life, which is missing, which is belief in the existence of resurrection hereafter. With the word hereafter, akhirah, we emphasize on it in the classes. If you notice that, akhirah means you live the end result of your life right now. Now, if we don't see this dimension, that everything, every moment I am living, everything comes to my mind and my conclusion, my action, of course, my action depends on my awareness, what I'm doing. This awareness has an eternal dimension, infinite dimension. This is life, eternal life in the hereafter. But it must be present now through my awareness. That is another dimension of existence in this world, which is missing again. But what we usually do, we will die and we will be resurrected, created. It is not present. But look, if a vector, now mathematically or in geometry or whatever you call it, a vector is like this, a line and an arrow, one side. If it goes to eternity, one side of the arrow shows that I'm going to eternity. Yeah, we say the next life will be eternal. If something has an eternity in the future, don't you think that mathematically it has no beginning? It must be an eternal in its other side as well of the vector, of the line. Do you understand this? So anything which is eternal must have no beginning. If something has a beginning, it means here, let's put this one here, like this. I don't know how can I show it. Yeah. Like this. Do you see that? Or maybe someone is interested in it, like here. So there are some people watching it. So cannot be eternal. So existence, although our experience is not, but existence of the Creator is eternal. So existence is eternal. You cannot put a limit to it. So if the life in the hereafter is going to be eternal, that's what theoretically we know, theoretically, not practically. Right? Do you understand the difference? Theoretically, we know that life in the hereafter will be eternal. The Quran emphasizes your life will have no end. Khalidina fiha abada. Abada, abada, eternal. It means there is no beginning. It means I can live eternal life right now because it doesn't have a beginning. It is not going to begin after I die. Do you understand the logic? No. But if I am going to start the eternal life after I die, it means it will have a beginning. When it has a beginning, it cannot be eternal. So we are from the eternal Creator we will go back to the eternal creator. That's what the Quran's message is. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. If my source is eternal, it means my existence must have this aspect, this dimension. So another dimension is to be added to our four materialist life dimensions: angelic side of the creation, messengership side of the creation, eternal resurrection side of the creation, eternity of the creation. So don't say, I exist not right now, tomorrow I may not exist. Contradictory. Do you understand? No. Tomorrow you may not be in this room. Yeah? We may die tomorrow. And the akhir, وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ means my presence in the room may be the last one. Do you understand? But it doesn't mean that my existence will be the last one. If I am not in this room, I will be in another room or in another place, in the street, whatever, wherever. But I will be. So when we understand Akhirah, when we say Akhirah, the last experience of this life, every day, every moment, we are having a last experience of this life, but this life, not existence. No, one day, definitely, first me and afterwards you will not be in this room anymore. One day will come, Akhir, right? One day will come and that will be the last being in this room for you. It's practical. One day definitely will come. You will be in this room last. Sure? Do you understand this? Does it make sense to you? Yeah. But it doesn't mean that your existence will disappear. No, being in this room is the last experience of this life. That's what we have to understand. The Akhirah means, yeah, there is an end to the experience of my life in this world, but it doesn't mean that my Creator is going to forsaken me and I won't exist. No, I will be in another room or in another life conditions. But my experience in this world is temporary. But it doesn't mean that my existence is temporary, because my existence is from where?
Eternal source.
Eternal Creator. We belong to Eternal Creator. We will go back to Eternal Creator. It means my existence is with the Eternal Creator. I don't mind. He will take care of it. Who is going to take care of it? Eternally self-existent one will take care of it. Now, if I understand this matter, my life will have another dimension. I live eternally. My existence is eternal, belonging to the eternal one. Look, we are missing all these dimensions.
So it seems with this logic, we still can live. Okay, physically, someone may not be present, but you can still live with. I'm just trying to understand the prophetic message, living with the messenger. How can I live with the message, with the messenger right now? And I was
it is interrelated with each other. All these dimensions Yeah, practically they summarize this into 6 principles. It means 6 dimensions. Belief in God is one dimension, angels in another dimension, and the message in another dimension, messengership is another dimension, 4, and eternal life, eternal existence is another dimension, 3, and being aware of all this and living accordingly, which is belief in divine determination. Everything is arranged as it is by the one who gave existence to everything. That is qadar. So being aware of this in another dimension, so we can live within 10-dimensional life in a very rough graft or chart. Very rough. 4 is physical. The other 6 is your awareness, your consciousness of it. So you can live in a 10-dimensional life if you work on it, but we need to train. Then you will never have any worry about anything. It doesn't mean that in the physical 4-dimensional life, I shouldn't move from here to there because my existence is eternal, and I shouldn't cook and eat. No, 4-dimensional life is the life conditions, material life conditions that my body requires. But my body, the requirements of my body is almost not important really. But I have to take care of it. We take care of it. We don't need encouragement. Do you need encouragement that you have to eat? Unless, do you need encouragement that you have to breathe? Please breathe, otherwise you will die. Yeah. Do you need any encouragement to take care of your health? Well, you automatically want it. You want, it is created within your physical body. But of course, what we need encouragement about is the other 6 dimensions. That is consciousness. That is realized through awareness, through consciousness. That is what the Quran is bringing to us, the news. God is telling us that, no, don't live in this world, in this fleeting world, as if it is a permanent abode for you. That is the news of the Quran message. So we have to take, we have to think, is it really true? Then this world is not my eternal abode. It's a transient place, but not my existence is transient. No, my house is transient. I am a tenant. Yeah, I am a tenant in this universe. I am a guest. The best thing is tenant has to pay. No, I am a guest in this house. But the owner of the house may take you and put into another house. I don't know. That's up to him. I don't care. What I need to be aware of my reality. My reality is I belong to an absolute being. This absolute being is interacting with me, in being in conversation with me through different means. And my consciousness can comprehend it. If only I train it. If I don't train myself, even for example, if you go and speak to athletes, yeah, if they don't do the exercise for 1 week, what happens? Ask them. what happens? They start losing their ability. Right? Musicians, if they don't play the instrument that they want to be expert on it for 1 month, for a week, what happens? They feel it. Now, we understand the practice in terms of meta, right? We understand. If you don't eat, you will suffer. If you don't use your capacity, then it will diminish, it will go back, right? We understand this. How about our consciousness? Do we use it? We just say we believe in God, and I have to pray and fast. This is sunnah, this is wajib, this is fard, and I'm not doing it. Where is the dimension of existence in my life? The existence of angels, existence of God exists in my life. The God is the commander-in-chief, ordered me to do this, and that's it. He is not present in my life. I just take the command. Right? I just take the command. If I am an honest person, for example, let's say you are a dispatch person, okay? Dispatcher. So the company asks you to deliver this one to somebody, all right? Somewhere. Okay, you take the package. Let's say you are dispatching the package. You take the package, and is the boss with you? No. But what are you doing now? You are obeying the command of the boss, owner of the company, right? But the owner of the company is not with you now. What you can do now, you can take it. If you are an honest person, you deliver it to the addressee, or the one who's going to receive it, the recipient. So you say, I obeyed the command, but the boss is not with you. But the boss of the universe is ever present, absolute. He must be with you. Yeah, we obey when we fast, when we pray. But is he present with me? That's a question. It's a big question. It needs consciousness, awareness, because you cannot have the boss next to you as a physical man. Yeah, the creator of the universe, as long as the universe exists, it means as long as the creation continues, it means the boss is in action. The boss is in action. It means he's present. He's not like the boss living in his office. He is in present. Do I feel his presence with me? Am I aware of his presence with me? Missing dimension. God's existence. The missing dimension. Look, belief in God is just a starting point. Yeah, I believe that there is a creator. That's a starting point. That is good, without which you cannot go further. But it doesn't mean any dimension in your life. It's very critical. Belief in the angel is a starting point, and we have to study what are they. Or we have to study who God is. We have to study what angels are. We have to study what the message is. Message is in the Quran, right? Here, in the Musaf, here. The message is here. Somebody might have memorized it. Okay, it is in his memory. But the speech of God must be alive. He's speaking to me right now. Is it really? Consciousness needs education. It is another dimension of existence. And the instructor is teaching you now. Where is the instructor? You don't have to know what he's saying. This awareness of its existence, messengership. Without the messengership, without the message and without the messengership, really this universe does not, the existence of this universe does not make sense. Why? Everything is perfect but purposeless. Right? We need to educate it. Go on, eternal life, eternal existence. يوم الآخر, life, eternal life. Do I live in eternity?
Or
No.
eternity?
No, where is eternity? And it doesn't, because we are not aware of it. But if you concentrate on your existence, it's very easy. My existence is coming from an eternal source, must be eternal. So I live eternity in my life. For example, my age, my life conditions don't bother me anymore. That is the source of happiness. That is the source of tawakkul, trust in the eternal creator. I belong to you. I belong to you. I don't care. You are my boss. I am your guest. You are my host. And you are eternal. And I am living as a guest of the eternal being in his eternal existing. These are the practical side of belief, which is missing. Not in the culture. In the culture, there is no practical side of belief. Is taught, trained. Some people try, but when individuals living in this world with 4 dimensions, 10 dimensions. 4 is material experience, 6 is consciousness. When you eat, you don't have to be conscious. When you breathe, you don't have to be conscious. When you need to go to the other room, you don't have to be conscious. Yeah? Consciousness is not required, just you go. Yeah? You don't have to be aware, what am I doing? Do I have to do it? Oh, this kind of awareness. Awareness. In the 4 dimension of material life, you don't have to be conscious, really. Just practically carry on. You don't have to be alive, alarmed. But in order to live the rest of the 6 dimensions in your life, you have to train as much as you can, and your consciousness is required to be always alerted, conscious of. Then you will see, well, I repeat this, but don't misunderstand, no time restriction, no space restriction, no age restrictions, no limitations of material life 4 dimensions should bother you. Be happy eternally while you are living. Because everything, the 4 dimensions, material dimensions, transient, not important. You don't have to be conscious of it. Forget about that. You just do it. When you are thirsty, what do? You just go and drink water without realizing even what you are doing. Just drink water. That's it. Not like animals. Animals, what they do. When they are thirsty, they look for a water and come and drink and go. Like that. So 4 dimension is not human life. 4 dimension is not just a material, maybe at the most animal life. At the most. It's a human life. We have to train our 6 dimensions. Try to do that. Try to do that. Now concentrate on it. What can I do? How can I bring? Now let's come to our subject. How can I bring the presence of the messenger into my life? First of all, we must make sure that messengership exists, must exist, and it is represented by a person. Doesn't matter who the person is. But historically, as far as our time window is concerned, Muhammad. So Muhammad's messengership must be established so that we will be able to bring his instructorship into our life. Not the person, but awareness of his instructorship. But we have to make sure that there was a man who was the messenger. That's what we are studying, foundational. There was a man who was the messenger, and now how can I live with this, with the presence or in the presence of this messenger is going to be our own work. We have to work on it. It is not impossible, but it may seem to be impossible for us because we have Noah being aware of such dimensions. We thought that we believe in God, we believe in the Quran, we believe in Muhammad as the messenger, actually was the messenger. That's our belief is. We believe that after we die, our life will be, we will be resurrected and will continue. But right now, these dimensions don't exist because of the lack of awareness of the importance of these dimensions in our life. That lots of things bother us. I cannot do this because what they will say, how the people see me, lots of considerations because of the lack of these 6 dimensions in our life. Belief is not only verbal expression or mental expression, mental experience. It means, look at this world, it's wonderful, it must have a creator. Yeah. Right? It is mental activity. No, it must have a creator. Yes, correct. That needs to be done. But how about if there is a creator, what shall I do? Huh? Who is this creator? What is it to do with me? How am I going to relate my existence to him as being the creator? That is awareness, right? That is not mind activity. That is awareness. This awareness side, consciousness side, which is in Arabic shu'ur, is almost at a communal level, not particular. Some people are trying to do the persons, some persons. They're trying to do that, but in the civilization, even Muslim civilization, not only this material civilization, secular civilization, forget about it. They don't even enter into the subject. They deny them. They ignore them. They cannot deny. They have no proof for it, but they cannot. But they ignore them. Even in the so-called believing communities, these 6 dimensions do not exist in people's consciousness, and there's no training. Some people try.
You're
say in believers community?
Sorry?
Did you say in believers community?
Yes.
Okay.
Believer,
Okay.
not secular. No, secular, forget about it. It is out of the question.
What is a believers
Creation.
community then?
They believe that the universe is a creator. They believe that we will be resurrected after
Okay,
we
so
die.
anybody who's believing in the universe must have a creator and I'll be resurrected is considered a believer.
Yes.
Either you're a practicing believer or not.
Well, that is something else, practicing sight. What are you practicing?
That's the thing. I was
What
thinking
are the
about
practicing?
exactly.
We think that practice means praying, fasting. But it's not. We are talking about now,
So
not
everybody's a
physical
believer
action.
then.
No, we are not talking about mental action. We are not talking about physical action. We are talking about consciousness. There is no consciousness of the content of our belief in the society. No, even in the believers' society, consciousness has not been trained. It is not the subject of anybody. Some people try saying that, look, concentrate on something. They try to do that, but it's not common. And if we say that, oh, there are certain people, they are called Sufis, they are called Buddhist monks, gurus or somebody, I'm not one of them, forget about it.
Who teaches consciousness? Was the prophet teaching consciousness?
Sorry?
Was the prophet teaching consciousness?
Prophet what? The word
Teaching consciousness?
think me.
Teaching. Teaching.
Quran speaks to our consciousness. Quran doesn't speak, but Quran speaks to our mind in order to invite us into the house of belief.
Okay, so
Now,
consciousness is
but this is this is only certain verses in the Quran, very limited verses. Why don't you use your mind? Why don't you question? Why don't you look at the birds above you? Why don't you think about the rain coming down, the creation of the trees, on the animals, etc.? These are addressing minds, right? In order to invite, come on, come in. It makes sense. Now you come and knock at the door of belief and enter. Say, yeah, there must be. I understand. Now, afterwards, how can I live with these items of belief, articles of belief, consciously in my life? What we usually do, which is right in our physical life, what we have to do, we have to fast. We have to pray. But these are actions, not consciousness. Not awareness of where I am, what I am. These are actions. Needs to be done as you have to eat. You need to eat. You need to pray. You need to fast. Yeah, you need to give zakat. Well, to charity, or whatever you call it in English. Yeah? Almsgiving, whatever you call it. I don't know, zakat in the language of the Quran. You need to do that, but you don't have to be conscious of your existence, your logical conclusion, which is necessary, but it is not all. Human beings and human spirit is not limited to the mind. But most people even don't use mind, even they don't use even their mind. They just follow the tradition. That's not our concern. What the other people do, that's none of our concern. We have to come back to ourselves. We are trying to do here, go beyond tradition, saying that we belong to Muslim community, right? And we are Muslims. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to believe? It's okay, we are supposed to believe in God or something and start using our mind, maybe at a very superficial level, starting, yeah, there must be a creator. Come on, I cannot exist by myself like this, accidentally. Yeah, that is mind. complete it, saying that, yes, I believe in Islam, the teachings of Islam. Christianity doesn't make sense to me if you compare it a little bit. If you say God is a son, come on, you must be joking. What are you doing? Yeah, that's it. I mean, they don't say that simply, but what the common people do. All right, and then what am I supposed to do now? Now you are supposed to pray, fast, etc., give charity to charity. Okay. That's what our religion is. How about our consciousness? How about the needs of our spirit? Our soul, it needs eternity in every aspect. Where is it? No training of consciousness, awareness, human spirit. No training of it in the community. So we have to start this process by making our conclusions, which are the results of our mind activities for sure, and then bring our spirit into, with the free will, into the field. So if there is God, so what? If there are angels, I'm convinced, okay, so what is it to do with me? If there is eternal life, what is it to do with me? What shall I do with it?
Same
Right?
thing with messengership.
Yes.
Logically conclude, and then say if there
There
is a
must be.
messenger, then
Yeah,
Then what?
but first
How do I
I
live
must
with it?
make sure, logically convinced that the messengership must exist and a person must be the messenger.
Okay.
And I must make sure this.
Mhm.
And then it remains to me now, the mind activity finishes. Now, what shall I do with it? What does it mean for me, for my practical life?
And when the mind activity finishes, we weed out the historical side, because
Yeah.
right now you've established that.
Now, bring belief in God into your practical life, one dimension. Bring your acceptance of the existence of angels into another dimension now in your life. You are living with this awareness now. Angels are, every time communicating with me. And my creator is ever existing one, self-existing one. I belong to him.
So
I don't bother about my existence. If I hurt myself, and it hurts, yes, it hurts. Now, my existence doesn't change. I still exist. Then it hurts. I have to do physically something, clean it or put a bandage on it, whatever, or go to a hospital, whatever you want to do. You need to do. It is the practical side. It's not important. You don't have to have encouragement about it. You do it. That's how we are created as animals. How about human side? Animals also, when they get ill, they are instinctively encoded what to do, in which case. They don't go to the hospital. What they do, they cure themselves because they are instructed. So human beings has to learn. Animals don't have to learn. Animals don't have to learn. But human beings have to learn. This is mental activities. What is all the secular sciences is about? What? Mental activities, which is not bad. No, these mental activities are not bad, but these mental activities must bring data for my spirit. So I have to experience them. That is the aspect of it that we are not aware of, we are not taught, it's not common, but we understand That is personal. You cannot learn it in a community. That is personal. You have to intend to do it. You have to search for it. How can I start from belief in God? How can I make sure that my God, my existence belongs to an eternal one? So you forget about your type of existence. You are ill, you are healthy, you are hungry, you are full. Your existence belongs to the eternal one. So that is the core of our happiness. My existence belongs to him. Whatever happens, see, because of him. Now, I am aware of it. It is not difficult. Just bring the subject into your consideration. That is your homework. That's our homework, not our homework, my homework. That I have to do. But there's something. What is it then? What am I going to do with it? When you ask the question, you start becoming aware of such a thing might exist. For example, you go to yesterday I worked and did something here and got tired. Tired. I said, what shall I do? I went out to the backyard and cleaned it, kept myself busy. And also green, not in the room, but green, lots of trees and animals, and I felt it's completely different. Yeah, the life is completely different. I enjoyed it. What makes me enjoy that thing different? When you look at a flower or a baby, the nice, 1, 2 years old, unspoiled baby, not the baby who is spoiled, unspoiled baby. When you look at it, you feel something. What does it mean? You are communicating with something else, not with the matter. Yeah, when you eat something, if your taste is there, if you like the taste, you are communicating with something else, not the meta side of the food. Or you concentrate on what does it mean for me. Question. If you don't question, you don't get the answer. Yes.
Doctor, in the initial stages, if we read Quran, it speaks to our mind and awakens our consciousness. Is this correct?
No, it speaks to our mind in some verses, right? So that it is an invitation to come into, it is the typical language of the author of this book that we are studying, into the palace of belief. Just an invitation. Come, there is a banquet here. Some people say, no, I'm not coming. There's no such thing. Here is banquet. I don't see anything. Here I am. There is no banquet. It means when you look at a flower, there's a banquet. They don't say, no, it is just a plant. They say, I like it, but it means nothing. I like it. That's it. That's what I like. I like. It's not a means of communication with the creator of beauty. Yeah, that's what I like. That's it. I'm going to die and it will finish. They don't come to the palace of belief. So all the logical evidences produced in the Quran or introduced to us in the Quran is an invitation to enter the palace of belief. Just to get into it, accept it. There is something here. Now, when you enter, it doesn't mean that you know what is in the palace. Now it is on you to explore. But the rest of the Quran trains your spirit, your soul, how to really deal with it. This is what the Satan says. These are all the symbolic explanations. What some people claim, how they denied this and that, and what happened to them, how they are destroyed, and how the universe is going to be, and how God knows your deeper heart. These kind of things are the invitation, not only to get into the palace, to benefit from the banquet, and get into the palace and explore all the beauty. I don't know, palace is beautiful, but let's say an orchard, a garden, beautiful garden. Get them explore there. All the training, most of the Quranic verses are training human soul, not human mind. Human soul is a training. But if we don't know it, we don't know what. If we are not aware of these dimensions of belief in our life, which kind of life I am expected to live after I believe in this and this and this and this, at least 6 pillars, right? And I believe in them. So what changed in my life? What changed in my awareness, my consciousness? What? Mm-hmm. I started doing, for example, if I am a drinker, I stopped drinking. That's what changed. I started 5 times, praying 5 times a day. That's a change. But these are all material things. They are not related to consciousness. Yeah, consciousness means living in the presence of. There, you can have this understanding as an example of this understanding. For example, when you go to a garden and the birds are there, and the fresh air is nice, the climate is nice, the temperature is just fine, and you smell nice smells, you feel relaxed a little bit. What are you doing there? What's happening? There is another dimension in existence which makes you happy. So how about bringing belief in God within your presence, angels in your life, eternal life, speech of God. God is continuous to speak to you, right? Communicating with it, teaching you what to do, how to feel, how to experience life, right? And this is right, this is wrong, giving you guidance. When you have this consciousness, if the consciousness becomes alarmed, you start forgetting about the materials. Because it's automatic. The animals do, you don't say, what am I going to cook today? It's nothing to do with your consciousness. It is an instinctive, automatic. Your animal side pushes you to go do the shopping, and come here, cook it. That's not human. Yep. Even, yes, belief side, the result of mental activity, belief side is human, but only one aspect of the function of the spirit. Mind is only one tool of the soul, human soul. I can only introduce or use the word consciousness as representing humanity in general, human side in general. That consciousness is not being trained commonly. That is the missing dimension. But if you don't use your mind, if you don't accept the invitation to the banquet in the palace of belief, you will never have any opportunity to use your consciousness. You understand that?
Yes.
No way. You are not eating, you are not going to the garden. How are you going to experience the smell, beauty, or the beauty of the songs of the birds? You have not been there. But first invitation, we have to accept the invitation that the Iman is necessary. And mind activity is necessary. Without mind activity, consciousness doesn't work. But after your mind is convinced and you submit to it, now the time to start the training of your consciousness. That is another step. You get it? This difference? Yeah.
Without mind?
No, you cannot enter the palace without using your mind. You don't accept the invitation. For example, if somebody is a poor, shabby-looking man, says, I have 100 types of food for you to come, and everybody is invited shouting in the corner. You see that this man is, something is disturbed. Then you come, you don't take notes of it. So is there any way that you can benefit from? Yeah, from the banquet? No, because you are not convinced that it is possible. But if you receive a message from the, I don't know, let's say New York mayor, addressing to your name, Rohan, Thursday at 6 o'clock, there is a banquet, and I am inviting you, please join. Do you believe? Your mind says, it is the mayor, this cannot be a joke, it is possible, you are convinced. But, yeah, you are invited to the banquet. You go there, but you don't eat the banquet. What happens? You believe that it was true. Yes? But you didn't benefit from the banquet. What happens? Yes, you were not a denier, like the previous example. Yeah, it cannot be true. The man in the corner, a shabby man, he said, I have 100 different dishes, delicious. I invite everybody here in the neighborhood. You just think it's crazy. But they are not convinced. But after being convinced, it is not enough. You have to go and eat it. Experience it. This experience is belief in God needs a dimension of belief in God into your life. There must have another dimension in your life. Here I am. Like a child, but this is not an exact example, just for example, does a child bother about the food this evening? No. His parents is going to take care of it. No. But the father or mother, especially, what should I cook this evening? The father says, what should I bring to the house for food? Right? Child doesn't bother. It means he lives with the reality that his nourishment is guaranteed. Right? That is another experience of life. Example, we are not child. We are not children. That's correct. We are not children. So that is an example, the difference between realization. Right? Somebody has to take care of it. The child doesn't bother. He just says, I am hungry, where is the food? That's it. That's it. It means there are differences in our life experiences. Right? The consciousness is like this. I believe in God. Where is He? I believe in the eternal life. Where is it? I believe in the angels. Where are they? I believe in the speech of God. Where is it? In the Musaf. It's a book. It's paper. Like when you read it, you read the language, but this is not the speech of God. Your awareness of the message is the speech of God. I believe in the messenger. Where is he? Huh? Died. It's Abdullah. Muhammad Abdullah died. Muhammad Rasulullah must be alive. Where is it? You see the missing dimensions in our life? Providence of God. I am under the protection. Insurance, but not life insurance. Existence insurance. Yeah, the policy issued by the eternal being. Existence insurance policy issued by the eternal being. What do you think? Huh? Yeah, everything is guaranteed. Huh? Oh, everything is guaranteed. So existence. Now the life insurance they give out till you die. Until I die, I will be alive anyways. What are you insuring? It's a trick. It's just cheating. Cheating people. They say life insurance until you die. Yeah, you know, if you are not aware of the reality of existence, you become a monkey in the hands of some people. They play with you. They exploit you. So, mashallah.
Doctor, I have a question. The human free will, is this aspect from the mind or from consciousness?
Doesn't matter. Different elements. You know, this is the computer. The program is there. Microphone is there. And the camera is there. This is what I mean. It is this. No, but it's the camera side of the computer. Microphone side of the computer. Yeah. And program side of the computer. Screen of the computer. Keyboard of the computer. You don't have to relate it. They are the whole, a whole, which this aspect in our existence. Okay. So mind is one element, free will is another element, but we have to work on it, how they work. We have to study how they work. You must be very familiar with the language that we use. Everything starts with free will. If you don't choose to go to the banquet, no way. Even you receive the invitation from the mayor. Huh? Example. Even you receive the invitation from the mayor. If you choose mayor, if you not choose to go there, will you go there? You are not choosing. You are not willing. So if you don't will to investigate this dimension of existence, you will never be there. So free will comes first, in function. You have to will, you have to choose. And afterwards, mind must be satisfied and other human elements must be trained. Now, it is all perfectly working in harmony. And at every stage, again, you have to go, you step on one step, you go on one step, and then you have to choose to make one more step up. If you don't do it, you stay there. Right? Every time, your free will must decide, must choose to go one step ahead, one step ahead. It means you, while you are going, for example, I don't know whether you came here by bike or no, you didn't come by bike. It's interesting. It's okay by train.
Mhm.
8. Oh, what is up to you about that? Even if you are biking, even if you are driving, if you sit on the car or the subway or the bus, whatever, I think you can go by bus. What are you doing? Think about it and say, what am I doing? You know, look, I concluded that there must be a God, yeah, creator. And what does it mean for me? What does it mean for me? Yeah, there's a God. Yeah, what does it mean for me? Don't go into the easy way saying, no, I have to pray then, huh? I have to fast. Yeah, that is material things. These are not consciousness. Living in the presence of God, it has nothing to do with your fasting. Your fasting is a physical thing. You are not eating, you are not doing it. But your consciousness is important. What is the consciousness in the presence of, living in the presence of angels, prophets, speech of God, God, eternal life? We have to start going into this, but it is personal. Yeah. For example, I can speak to you and give you evidence to convince you that you have to believe in the existence of or in Muhammad as the messenger of God. I can give you this information that we are reading now, right? But I cannot make you live in the presence of the messenger of God. That's your personal experience. It's a long discourse. I'm sorry. Anything else? We have what we have done. We have done nothing today, as far as the text is concerned. But why are we reading this? To convince our mind that Muhammad is the messenger of God. And then I have to bring the messengership of Muhammad into my life. It's a personal experience. But I have to be convinced first. That's what this logical explanations are here. Evidences are here presented to us. So we have to be convinced. If you are not convinced, you cannot make any progress, conscious-wise. Inshallah, we can go over this next week. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. I feel it was a very important subject. Was it?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I feel that, but I am really trying to understand and experience this. I feel that I have to work on it personally. Personally. No one can make me conscious of something in this world. Okay, inshallah, I'll see you next Wednesday. I don't know what will happen next Wednesday. How are we going to arrange it? Try and watch out for the email, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.